Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing fine. And please come quickly as soon as possible because this is a kind of new that you would want to know what we are going to discuss tonight. And first of all, I would like to welcome all of you here in our first live session on criticism. And today we are taking on classical criticism. Under that, we are going to discuss Indian classical criticism. It's very important session because they have started asking a lot of questions on this particular section, because they used to ask a lot of question on Rasa theory and Dhvani, and these this time it is completely different. They are asking a little bit deeper, not like inside the content, but they are asking who wrote what. So uh, you might have seen a lot of question like from Bhasa, and there was also question from Kalidas, and there was a couple of questions on Rajsekhara, and I think they have, and you will a kind of you can expect that they might ask again, like they're just kind of increasing the number. So in the beginning they were asking like one question from Rasa Dhvani together, but in previously they have asked two questions. One was in chronology order of this Rajasekhara, Bhasha, and Anandavardhan, all these people. Now they might add another one, or maybe they'll ask different, not from Rasa or Dhoni. So in that case, this session is very important for all of you. I hope that after this session, you will be able to answer whatever the question they throw at you. So today we are taking on Indian classical criticism. So whoever is there online live with me, you know, kind of eager to learn new things every day, then you say hi in the chat box quickly. Then we'll begin, right? So, and of course, give whoever comes, you should give one like button, because I mean, one like thumbs up. So, it'll be kind of helpful for me too, right? So, and also, it'll encourage me to go live, more often. So let's not waste time, and let's talk about what we're gonna discuss in this particular session. So as you see over your screen, we have Indian classical criticism today, and as you can see, what are the contents that we're gonna discuss under this Indian classical. So one person is already there. Kavita is there. Hello, Kavita. I hope you are doing well and your preparation is going uh, you know really well. Anyway, you should start preparing more, and these new topics are very important to add couple of more marks in your exam, in your score. Anyway, let me tell you, introduce you what we are gonna talk about. Bharat Muni, everybody knows Natya Shastra, but what do you know what all are there inside the Natya Shastra, right? In the beginning, they used to ask just Rasa, Bharat Muni, who wrote all this, correct and match the following. But previously, they have asked one question from Natya Shastra, from drama part. As you know, we have 36 chapters, right? And in that, they have asked one question from drama part, like how many elements are there or forms of drama are there, I mean, defined by Bharat Muni in Natya Shastra and that specific chapter. Right. And first of all, I wanna, get the, because you're going to get one question on chronology order. So in that case, you have to remember everyone in order. So we have a code for you to remember all of this. But before we jump, into that code thing, let me tell you what all we are gonna. So as I told you, Bharat Muni, everybody knows, and most of you know the content also, right? Then we have Bhasa, and then we have Kalidas. These are the question they have asked actually. Then Bhartari. Then we have Bhamama, Bhamaha or Bhama. whatever you can say. Anyway, Amogha Varsha, then Anandavardhan, then Bhavabhuti, Rajshekhara, and Kuntaka. Also, we have Shemendra, we have Somadev, and we have Kalhana. Remember, all these questions, these people they have asked in your exam. It's very important that you should know who all are these critics, or some of them are dramatists or poet. They have written different kind of poetics, right? For them also, I mean, for you to kind of know all these things. So anyway, so now we are done. What are the contents inside this session? Now it's time for you to remember the chronological, code that we always make. Whenever we study, we make code. So that way you remember a lot of things, especially in. So the code says, it's kind of funny. You can make your own, right? Bhar bhas ka bhar bham. Can you remember that? Can you write? Whoever is there online, write this thing in the chat box right now. What is that? Bhar bhas ka bhar bham. Easy to remember, right? If not, then you can create your own code. So write this in the chat box. Very important, you should write. So whoever comes, they can see the code also. And when you write the code, it will kind of, fit in your memory, and that will help you, when you're in the exam center. Again, so when it is done, the second code you can go Amog Anand Bhav, right? Amog Anand Bhav. So that chronology is, Bhavana already wrote Bhar Bhas Ka Bhar Bham. What a sound, right? Some rhythm is there. Then second code, somebody else should write Amog Anand Bhav. Amog Anand Bhav. Right? Very important that these order you should remember, because you are going to get question only from this chronology. One question definitely, and another again has written Amog Anand Bhav. Whatever you can write your own code as well. Then the third step is what? Raj Kuntak Shemendra. You can make your own code here. Yeah, it is indeed a lovely rhyming, yes. And can you also guess what is the in our this code? What is the not rhyme scheme, but what is the meter here? Bhar bhas. So bhar bhas. Unstressed, unstressed, ka unstressed, unstressed, unstressed. So all are unstressed here, right? So that's kind of rhyme we have created, a different kind of meter we have. Anyway, Amog Anand Bhav, then Raj Kuntaka. So you should always remember Raj Kuntaka usually comes together when it is when they ask the question. These two people will be there to confuse you. So Raj Kuntaka, so Raj Shekhar comes first, Kuntaka comes second. Then step 4, Soma Kalhana. Soma Kalhana. That also you should remember. So all the code, if you remember this, then your one question is kind of done and dusted, right? And that is going to definitely going to come one question from the your content here, whatever I'm telling you. So remember the code here. And after this session tomorrow, or as I promised, alternate days. The first, then we'll have a break and we'll just continue move with our usual session on the literature, other, right? And then we'll have after the day after tomorrow, we'll have European classical criticism, where we'll talk about Plato, Aristotle, Horace, Longinus, Dante, and Boccaccio. And together, you won't believe we have 30 plus PYQ questions on them, because every time at least 3 questions from Plato, Aristotle, Horace, Longinus, Dante, Boccaccio. Sometime that they come, in an option usually. So anyway, that is for tomorrow. But today our focus is on our Indian classes, classical criticism. So very important this, if you just only remember these all, then whatever the question they throw at you on Rasa or Natya Shastra, it will be, you will be able to answer comfortably, right? So anyway, one question is done, right? Bharbhas ka bhar, you know, Bharbhas ka bharbham, that you will remember. And then again, here Natya Shastra, let me tell you all the things, whatever they have asked in the past, right? So, Natya Shastra, very important. They always, sometime, before they were asking on this particular thing. 36 chapters. Very important. Remember, 6,000 poetic verses. Then covers many aspects of arts. So basically, it is about the arts. In art form, we have singing, right? Then we have dancing, then drama, dialogues. What else can you remember? Write it down. What arts are there? You know, so that'll actually fill some content in your mind also. So when we talk about Natya Shastra, whatever thing you know about it, you just write in the chat box. So it'll just help you a lot to remember, to recall what you already know. And then we'll just quickly, and meanwhile we'll just talk about all these things, right? So whatever we study, what we do usually, we just break it down in so many parts first. So like today in our session, in the afternoon session, we talked about Samuel Johnson, and we had a very good form, the method or formula to remember what last work, second last, and in the middle we have some codes to remember. So that formula we followed, and we kind of got every single work of Samuel Johnson in order, right? So that kind of things we should always do. So again, let's come back here and talk about Natya Shastra. So here we are again breaking down, as I told you before, whatever the work, like in Samuel Johnson itself, today we talked about lives of the poets, we talked about Shakespeare, preface to Shakespeare. We broke it down into the parts, and then we kind of remember every single stuff about Samuel Johnson's work, especially lives of the poet, where you get a lot of bunch of the questions, and also you get a lot of questions from the preface. And from the preface, they don't ask about all the things. What they ask is the quote, what he has said about what, and which quote belongs to what. So that kind of thing we have already, and here also we're going to do the same. We are going to completely break down our Natya Shastra here. So remember, chapter 1 to 5. So group here the stage, about theater building and other outer aspects. And what kind of questions you got here before? Chapter 4 describes 108 karanas or reason as the building blocks of the art, art of dance, right? So our 1 to 5 chapter is done. Now here 6 to 7 chapters, we usually get question from that. I mean, we used to get a lot of questions from that itself, where we talk, we discuss theory of rasa. As you know, what is theory rasa, right? So remember that 6 to 7. So chapter 6, he talked about the theory of rasa. Then again, we just further break it down to chapter 8 and 13. And what do we get here? Physical acting techniques and dedicated to art of acting. Very important that you should have an idea. So basically, you should know the first 5 chapters, what it is about. 6, you already know, theory of rasa. And remember, chapters 14 to 20. So again, we are kind of breaking down with the 6th one. And here a lot of things they ask. Plot and structure, underlying text behind the performance of, like, remember, include the theory of Sanskrit prosody. This is the recent kind of question that you get in your exam. So the prosody, very important, Sanskrit prosody in chapter between that musical meters and the language of expression. And chapter 17 is what it presents the attribute of poetry and speech in itself. 17 dedicated to poetry only. So as you know, chapter 1 to 5 is about the stage, right? And 6 to 7, or basically just 6, if you just know theory of Rasa. And another, he talked about poetry here in chapter 14 to 20, basically chapter 17, right? Chapter 18, what present the art of a speech. And again chapter 18 discuss the 10 major rupakas, right? Forms of drama. That was the recent question they have asked. I mean, that cancelled exam they have asked this question. Chapter 18 discusses the major rupakas, rupak or form of drama and nataka. Right? So that is very important. You got one question from that. So see, everything is already here about Natya Shastra, and if you remember all these points, then your Natya Shastra and Rasa and you know all are easy to kind of get one question. So chapter 20 to 21, we have the structure of drama. So here the types of drama, structure of drama in 20 to 21. Chapter 22 to 26, again about the aspects of acting. So outer aspects of building theater was here, the stage in the chapter first to 5. But here about acting is what, chapter 22 to 26. Very important. So, and again he also talked about the female theater in chapter 2. They didn't ask any question from that, but as again it is female theater, something new, what they might ask, right? So you just have basic idea that he talked about the female theater in chapter 24. The training of actors is presented in chapter 26 to 35. Chapter 28 to 34, at the end we have what, about all the music. And very important thing there, we get 7 types of songs. We have mandraka, we have aparantaka, we have ravindika, we have prakari, we have ullupya, and we have ovedika, and we have uttara, like the answer. And it also elaborates on 33 melodic alankaras in song. So your Natya Shastra is done, right? Only you will get question from this first page. So if you remember this, then your Natya Shastra, Rasa, forms of drama, and that thing is clear, because they are not now asking a lot of question on inside like the bhavas and all these stuff, right? But you should know all of this. So to be in the safer side, what we are going to talk, we are going to talk every single stuff about Rasa, right? So Rasa mean, you should know, Rasa in Hindi is what, ras, right? Means juice, essence or taste in Sanskrit. Refers to the aesthetic taste. Very important, aesthetic taste. And art stimulates emotion and sensation. And rasa cannot describe the actual sensation but evokes it, right? And again all are that you can get in the notes. As I always say, that these notes you will get in your course itself, and these notes are gold mines, trust me, because this note not only include whatever the the thing they have asked in the past, also what they have asked is all the PYQ we have just put it there, everything in the notes. You don't have to go anywhere, search for any questions or answers, because if you know, and we have explained it. It's not just PYQ we have added. We have actually have a kind of depth analysis of every single questions. So in that case, this particular notes are very important. And as I told you, we only focus on the notes because that's the thing that will be with you forever, and that will, you know, whenever you start preparing, this will help you. And they are not so big notes, but I tell you, they are to the point, and when you read it, it will kind of, you know, they are also catchy in the sense we have all these bold stuff. And why we have highlighted and bold? Because, you know, they are important. So that is very important, right? So anyway, we have he also talked about Sahradaya connects emotionally with the work. Anyway, we won't go too much about it, but as I told you, whatever they will ask from the beginning, and they might ask about this. Now he glorifies, remember chapter 6 about the Rasa. Now he glorifies the arts. The arts are refinement of self, Atma Sanskrit. And with these, the worshipper recreate his self, that is made a rhythm meters. That is Aitarya Brahmana. Remember this. And translator Arindam Chakravarti. So that is also important, all these things. So Rasa is produced, you know, from a combination of determinants, that is Vibhava, consequence, Anubhava, kind of very confusing, right? But what you have to know here, this particular stuff, right? And whatever the bhavas and vibhavas are there, and the number, how many numbers are there. So you are getting question from that. So there is another guy who Abhinav Bharati, how he defines rasa. So Natya Veda refers to Natya Shastra as divine guide. Okay, we can just know this, but not important for us, you know, in exams perspective, right? What art immerses audience in pure joy of experience, elevate again aesthetic experience like the same. Rasa arises from bhava, whatever the emotions. 8 rasas are there, very important, with Santa as the ninth added by Abhinav Gupta. So in that way, as we know, Bharat Muni has given 8 rasas, right? The ninth one added by who? It is Abhinav Gupta. Very important. Ninth rasa. Shant. Very important. You will get, if you might get question from, you know, that rasha. And what is Santa rasa? Leads to realization of ultimate reality. So in that particular topic, what you have to remember, that Abhinav Gupta added what? Another rasa, ninth rasa, Shanta. And which rasa? Shanta. Right. Feature of rasa and theory. Again, the same thing. What is rasa and all these stuff that you can just omit here. Right. You can read it there. But anyway, this all are the features. Then elements of rasa in Indian aesthetic. As you know, the ninth one you always know. So Stringara, love, Hasya, laugh, Rudra, anger, Karuna, rasa is what? That is Soka and grief. Then Vibhatsa, we have discussed. We have Bhayanak, kind of horror, terror, Veeram, Veer, and Abhutam, kind of Adbhut. Actually, Adbhut. So all these you know what does it mean in English, right? But what you don't know here, what they ask about the color usually. Like here, energy is this, color black here in Bhayanak, right? Color is very important, and deity is important, Yama. And here we have saffron. Saffron you can remember, Bajrang Dal, right? Saffron, Veera, they're all Veer, is it? Anyway, so Veer is there, heroism, saffron, remember the color, black, Bhayanak, means horror is there. Color you should remember. Adbhut, color is yellow. And Shanta, color is Shanta means that peace, you can represent with, I mean, white. Easy to actually remember. If you know what are these rasas, you can easily associate with the colors. They used to ask question on that also long ago, not now, but long ago. So in that case, you should have little idea like which color represent, what. Anyway, let's move forward and talk about types of bhavas. So as you know, we have three kind of. Always you remember sthai, sanchari, and sattvic. You should know what all are these, but inside you can just omit it. You just have a basic idea what is. So sthai, sthai means what? Corresponding to 8 rasas. So how many are there? 8. Rati, same thing. Ninth is added by Abhinav Gupta, Shanti. Right. So Rati, Hasya, Shoka, Krodha, Utsa means energy, Utsah actually. Bhaya, Kurup, Yurup, disgust, Vismaya, astonishment is there. Then we have Sanchari. Total we have 33. Remember always the number, very important. It is what? Crossing feelings ancillary to permanent mood. There are 33 bhavas. Then Sattvic. Sattvic have 8 Sattvic bhavas. And how many vibhavas we have? As you know, Alamban, Vibhav, Uddipan Vibhav, and Uddipan Vibhav. So we have here evokes sthai bhavas in Alamban and Uddipan. Right. Then we have again 33 of them. Concept of Natya, the same thing we talked in the beginning. And here is the structure of the play, the stages. We have a Prarambh. Of course, when we start a play, there is what? Beginning, which is like Arambh, Prarambh, right? Then we have Prayatna, the effort to see. Then Prapti, which means hope emerges from possible success. And then Niyat Phalam Prapti. Niyat Phal Prapti. So Niyat Phal Prapti. We can just break it. Phala Prapti. So kind of fruits, right? Anyway, then Phala Yoga, successful attainment when the play achieves what? The goal. Then we have Biya, initial Bija or Biya. Anyway, Bindu. Again, Bindu is like that, drop, sustain the seed's growth. Then we have Pataka. Then we have Prakari, and we have the Karya. Remember. Anyway, again, what are these things? The rasa, the sentiment, bhava, the states, all these 11 components of drama. Getting boring because a lot of things are there in Natya Shastra and we are covering everything, and that is also not important. What is important? The first in the beginning. Our is bhar, right? Bhas, ka, bhar, bham, right? That was the code. Next is bhasa. Bhasa, 4th century, one of the earliest Sanskrit playwrights. So he's a playwright. And what question you got actually is from this work. Urubhanga. They have asked a question on Urubhanga. Only match the correct pair. So that's what they have asked. So remember, Urubhanga. Very important that you should know. Little bit about him. But the question you will definitely get is Urubhanga, only to match the following. So Bhasa you can connect with who? Urubhanga. So that kind of question they ask. So Bhasa, again earliest Sanskrit playwright. You know the date, the second person. So in chronology, this guy is the second, and again rediscovered by Ganpati not for you to remember, what you can just go for Urubhanga. They have asked question on that. Then Duryodhana is shown repenting with his. So all the plots are here. So this is the part of Urubhanga, and his family relation are portrayal and great pathos. The Mahabharata contain no mention of Duryodhana repentance and all things. So what you can remember, Bhasa, Urubhanga. Right. Again, 13 plays of Bhasa are there. They have asked question on this Urubhanga. Total 13 plays. If you can remember the name, that is good for you. They have asked about Urubhanga. They might ask about other play also, right? Like Prati Janjagund. We can just break it down. Prati Janya Agadharna Yana. Oh my god, that's too big for me to say. Anyway, remember the name? We have uh, Charudatta, and we have Pancharatra, and we have Madhya Mavya Yoga again. So, and then we have Balacharita Abhisheka. They have asked question on that. That's why we have put it. Bhasa here, and about Bhasa they ask in chronology order, that's all. Then we have Kalidas. Everybody knows, we don't have to go what we need to know about his work. You only know, kind of know, Abhigyan Shakuntalam. If you know other work by Kalidas, you can write in the chat box, then you will recall another time, right? One more time in your mind. Very important to write in the chat box, and that's how we can just communicate each other, right? Wrote his Kumar Sambhava, then Raghuvansa, Meghdatta, and we have Shyamlal Dandakam, and we have Malvika Tam, another, and what is important, Abhigyan Shakuntalam. They have asked in match the following, right? We have Vikramo Saryam tells the story of King Puru Ravas. Anyway, you can just go with Abhigyan Sakuntalam, and that will be enough for you. And also in Kalidas they ask only chronology. Then we have Bharthari, right? Ka, remember Kalidas in our Bharvas Ka Bharvam, right? Ka Kalidas. And then we have Bharthari. Again, Bharthari, very important work you should know. Every time they are now have started asking about that thing. Vakya Pedia and Trikandi. They are asking a lot of question from Trikandi, not like inside of it, but just match the following. And also in chronology, Bharthari. So Trikandi means you can understand it's all about three things, right? So what all three things are there? Three books: Brahm Kand, book of Brahma, then Vakyakand. You get question from that. Vakyakand. And then we have Padakand. Pad means that one word, book of words or letters in a word. So these three you have to remember. Right. And then your Brahmarthi is done. What? Bhartahari Kandi is done. All our book are there, done. And that's the question, that kind of question you get. Anyway, when we solve a question, we will definitely talk about it. And one more important thing that I completely kind of going to skip, but luckily we got it, the Sphota theory, like most important stuff. They have asked one question direct from that itself. That's why Bhartahari is important. The Sphota theory in your Vakya Kanda. Remember that. Vakya Karana tradition, that means burst, right? Sphota means Visfotka, kind of Sphota, bursting, opening. So now you know the meaning and what it is important, because sphota, as you know, it is about vakya, right? As you can see, vakya kanda, about sentences. So when we talk about sentences, they have asked question, it can be applied where, in the question. So dhvani, as you know, can be applied because it is all about the all the letters and all the dhvani, so that could can include. So that was the question. So it's phota. So linguistic, as you know, dhvani is all about linguistics. And again, it was also mentioned Bhartari in 670s by some Chinese traveler Ying. Anyway, do you know any friends who are Chinese? So Sphota is a key understanding coherent discourse and meaning. So that you have to remember. The Sphota theory introduced by who and where. That two question you are definitely. So Sphota by Bhartahari, where in Trikandi, which book? Vakya Kanda. Right? So you are done with Bhartahari. Another Bhamaha. What kind of question you got? Chronology, his order of his birth. That what they have asked. And they have asked one more about Kavya Alankara, the ornament of poetry. So that you have to remember. There was a match the following questions and this option was there, Kavya Alankara. So that's very important. You should know the Kavya Alankara, right? And it has 398 verses. The trend is not like they're asking a lot of questions from inside, but what they're gonna ask, Bhamaha Kavya Alankara. Match the following or correct pair. Right. So again, let me tell you about another Amogh Varsha. Amogh Varsha means what? Also known as Amogh Varsha Nurupatunga. So this guy is about, written about dynasty greatest empire. Remember, it's very important because of this work. Actually, it was work, but what they have asked about his order, they have asked. So, especially that chronology, especially his birth. So remember, we have the code for that. Amogh is what? Amogh Anand Bhav, right? So Dhvani by Anand Vardhan. You have been, watching a lot of videos on Dhvani, Rasa and all, right? Dhvani and Rasa. So you might have idea about what is Dhvani and Anand Vardhan and what kind of question you got in your exam. That's what you're gonna talk about, right? So Anand Vardhan, everybody knows that he wrote Dhvanaloka. Remember what the date? 820 to 890. Very important that you should know. You know the code? Amogh Anand Bhava, right? So again, let me tell you about aesthetic suggestion, that is Dhvani. And again, Abhinav Gupta wrote a commentary on it and it is called what? Lokana. Very important. And Anand Vardhan was famous what? Kashmiri poet and philosopher. So you should have, if they ask about their places and all, they don't ask it, but you should have idea that most of them are from Kashmir. All of them. I mean, not if some of them would be in, Ujjain. Two people are from Ujjain, and some of them are where, like 3 to 4 people are from Kashmir. So that you have to just have an idea with these bunch of, these critics and have come in from Kashmir, either from Kashmir or from Ujjain. And Ujjain is in Madhya Pradesh. Where is in Ujjain? Can you confirm? It's in Madhya Pradesh, right? Anyway, let me tell you about introduction to Dhvani. As you know, Anandavardhan cannot be separated from Dhvani, right? So obviously, Anandavardhan Dhvani theory. Meaning is what? Sound or resonance is the soul of poetry. And here we can apply what is Phota theory. That was the question, right? Phota, as you know, is all about linguistic. So this is also about sound and resonance. So that's, in that case we can apply Phota. So very important. And according to him, when the poet writes, so suppose when you write something or some good post or some kind of blog, you do want to kind of produce that emotions, right? So what you do, you create a resonant field of emotions. Reader or hearer, or if I'm reading your post about anything, your experience or whatever, and what is your ultimate goal to you know rise kind of emotion on me, on the reader. So when I read it, your post or whatever, I get what? The same kind of wavelength. So I can just feel it ki you have gone through this, and it's kind of after reading this, it's kind of exhilarating reading that stuff. So that wavelength, the same wavelength, I will you know be in the same wavelength when you were writing this post, right? So I will kind of immerse from your experience while reading. So both writer and reader must be sensitive to dhwani. ठीक, complete dhwani loka with commentary was translated by who? Daniel Ingle. So that was, they asked like, Dhwani theory is a significant semantic theory. It is a semantic theory, right? And Anandavardhana popularized Dhwani, yes. Abhinav Gupta extends. So this Abhinav Gupta is doing a lot of things, right? So Abhinav Gupta, as you know, he added what? Let me tell you what he added. This is Abhinav Bharati, who added another Shanta, and Abhinav Gupta. Don't be confused. Like I got a little bit. That's why I just went back to check it out. Right. So that should not happen to you. What I was telling you, Abhinav Gupta. Abhinav Gupta. Where is Abhinav Gupta now? Yes. Here. Abhinav Gupta expanded it. Poetry is a verbal structure, very important, relying entirely on words. And that creates what? The emotion, the dhwani, right? Vyanjana, Alankara, literature. So, anyway, if you get any confusion at the end, we'll just summarize it in a very small way, like whatever the question they have asked. Through that, you can just get the idea. Anyway, I was talking about medieval Alankarikas emphasize dhwani for aesthetic experience. And Rasa experience require what? Dhwani to be fully. So basically it is what? Ki you should be in the same wavelength to produce that dhwani, right? Or that kind of emotions together. So that is basically he is talking about. And anyway, grammatical definition, that is very important. They have asked question on that. What does it mean? Dhvanati iti dhvani. Both word and meaning are dhvani. So the word what is written and what is produced, all the also apart. Dhvanati iti dhvani and dhvanyate iti dhvani. It is dhvani. And dhvanam, dhvananam, dhvani, process of suggestion in dhvani. And dhvani, samudaya, dhvani. Entire literature is dhvani. So basically at the end what? It starts with the word and the emotion, then it is dhvani, then process of suggestion is dhvani, and at the end what happened? You kind of summarize everything. No? So here entire literature is dhvani. Yeah. Right. So the construction of dhvani. Now let me tell you about the construction of dhvani, how it is constructed. Very important when they ask about this in your exam, and they have asked like there are three kinds of words in Sanskrit, right? Abhidha, Lakshana, and Vyanjana. And what are these? Abhidha means whatever you write, the literal word. Like if I talk about fire, then we are actual word of fire. Then Lakshana is what? The kind of characteristics of fire. So suppose if you have written, right, fire, this is literal means like we are talking about the fire itself. Then Lakshana is what? The characteristic, what fire can be. It can be the fire in you or all these things. And Vyanjana is what? Poetic and metaphysical meaning of what? That I'm telling you, like this guy has a fire in him, right? He can do and he can achieve a lot of stuff. Or you can just take example of anything else. So that thing you have to know. So everyone, everything is made of this. Remember, Abhidha, Lakshana, and Vyanjana. This is metaphor, right? And this is characteristics of meaning of the word and the literal meaning of the word. So very important that you should know. It is also called Dhvani, of course. Dhvani is created by what? Pada. As I told you, pada is what? Word, right? So that pad which combines with vakya. So when we talk about the whole paragraph about something or some poem, so one word is your pada, right? This pada, the whole line, yeah. So that you have to know. So dhvani is used for what? Conventional meaning, yes. The sound structure of words, of course. The power of the word conveys suggestible meaning, definitely. But the last work contains a suggestion purpose. So when it is done, your dhvani is kind of completed. So remember, Abhidha, Lakshana, and what we have the last one, Vyanjana. These three you should remember. Okay, so now let me tell you about a little bit more what is here. Abhinav Gupta in bold, very important. Abhinav Gupta, Anand. Okay. Then we have Bhav Bhuti. So Bhav Bhuti is what? This was also asked in chronology order. And what they have asked about? Uttar, Uttara Macharita. Uttar Charita. So you can just Uttar Aram Charita. I don't know how to say it together. It's a Sanskrit word. But for that, I will just tell you in English. Poet of Karuna Rasa. He is known as poet of. So by the name you can understand. Right. Karuna Rasa. Bhavabhuti was born in again where near Gondia, Vidarbha, and he belonged to a Deshastha Brahman family of a scholar. Not for you to remember. What you have to remember is Uttar Macharita in Sanskrit in 7 acts. So this work. What they'll ask, only the match the following or the correct pair, as I always tell you, or they'll ask this chronology order of this work. So even because when we talk about all this, Bharbhas ka Bharbham, they are 100 to 200 years gap. So their work is also easy. If you remember their work, you don't have to remember the date of the work. Then your chronology will be clear, right? So I hope you got the idea what I'm trying to say. Anyway, this again Uttar Aram Charita is what? 7 acts are there, and the play depicts the later life of Rama, Sita, and the Love Kush reunion. So that's all it is there. Now, very important, Rajashekara. So when we talk about Rajashekara, we also talk about Kuntak, right? Because they're kind of known because of only that thing. He lived between contemporary. All of them have like 150 or 200 years gap, but these two have kind of together, as it says, no, contemporary of Rajsekhara. So if they ask about them, then the question, the question will be kind of very difficult to answer, right, in chronology order. So for that we will discuss a little bit more about them, then it'll be easy for you to remember whatever the question they throw at you, right? So the Rajashekhara, 10th century, remember, Rajashekhara was Maharastri, Prakriti and Sanskrit poet. So basically, what? He was a poet. He was also a dramatist, right? He was also a court poet, same, right? And what is important here? Kavya, Vimamsa. Very important work. They have started asking about Rajshekhara these days. So Kavya, Kavya, Kavyam Mimamsa. Right, very important. Practical, so it is a kind of guide for a poet how to write a poem. Right. He's noted for the play what Karpu Ramanjari, and Karupa Ramanjari is what to please his wife Avanti Sundari. So you see, old times the names were kind of very grand name, right? So that's what we usually talk about. I mean, old time very good names and all these stuff, right? So Raj acknowledged his wife to his career, and he referred to himself as what? Yayavara. So what you have to remember? Rajshekara Kavimimcha. That's all you have to remember, and the rest you can just kind of some attributed work. Vidhi Vidha Sal Bhanchika. Crazy name. I'm just getting kind of upset. Can you remember all these names? So what you have to know, the one important work what they have asked, Kavya Mimamsa, here also Kavya Mimamsa. Kuntaka is important for Vakrati Siddhanta, theory of oblique expression. They have asked question on it. So Vakrati Siddhanta, theory of oblique expression. Right. Types of Vakrati, I mean, remember that. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 6 levels have this. Very important. This Kuntaka, Vakrati, Siddhanta. Like is Phota, Bhartahari, right? So, Dhvani, our Anandavardhan, and Rasa is, so similarly, it's very important, the Vakrati, Siddhanta. The level, of course, we have phonetic level, lexical level, grammatical level, sentential level, and contextual level, and compositional level. So you should know Vakrati has 6 levels. That's all. Then we have Shamendra. So Shamendra was born in 11th century, and what he's remembered for, we have here Brihat Thamanjari. Oh my god, I'm getting tired, guys, by reading these names. Anyway, we'll just go with the what is important. So, what is important? Dasavatar, Dasavatar, okay, Dasavatar Charita. So, it was easy to kind of finally put together in a word. So Dasavatar Charita. About Dasavatar, of course, we're talking about Vishnu, right? Another work, this is Charucharya, is important also. Charucharya. And we have a couple of more guys, 2 more, and then we are going where to solve our PYQ. Then you will, I know you kind of excited what all things are there. As I told you, if you know the code, it will be easy for you to answer one question, which is chronology. And if you know 1 or 2, work of each these critics and theorists, then your chronology of work also is solved, right? So that you have to know. Anyway, Soma Deva, you should know, he again Kashmiri. Kalhana, again Kashmiri, best known for his Katha Sarit Sangar. What? Katha Sarit Sagar. Okay. Katha Sarit Sagar. Collection of Indian legends. This work is because they might ask, right? So Kalhana, what they have asked and why we have put, because of the name in chronology order. So Kalhana, 12th century, the old kind of youngest here in all our list. Kalhana is what? Raj Tarangani. You got question, right? So, there was one comment somewhere, I don't know where I have read. They were asking about that Raj Tarangani. Why are they are asking question on these kind of stuff? So again, they used to ask about Rasa, Dhvani, and all, but now the story has completely changed. They are getting a little bit kind of deeper, and deeper in the sense they are just asking who wrote what. They're not asking what content are there inside, but who knows, in couple of more years they might start and uh, start asking all this stuff. Anyway, let me tell you about the Kalhana Raj Tarangani. That's what you have to know, that Kalhana wrote Raj Tarangani. Okay, so who else are kind of ready to jump into the question? Come on, guys. As I always do, I just leave one question to answer for you. I mean, you should answer every time. First couple of questions, I give it to you. But anyway, this time it's not related to us right now, because it is about Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavad Gita. Is all who translate answer right of the time you have kind of used to solve all these questions, especially on the translation. So guys, are you ready? Say ready in the chat box, then we'll just quickly move to our question and answer, right? Anyway, let me tell you about this thing, our Bharabhas kind of code. Kalidas, Bhavabhuti, Bhasa, who all are there? So B, Bhavabhuti. Okay. Then we have Bhasa. And then we have E at the end. Soma. I mean, it is asking correct pair. So very important. Also, you should know the order. Remember the code always to answer all this. Anyway, the correct, as we know, Bhasa, remember, talked about Urubhanga, and we talked about Bhavabhuti Uttam Charita, and we also talked about E Somadeva Kath Sar Katha Sarit Sagar, right? Katha Sarit Sagar. Remember that. Just now we have discussed. So these are the correct pair. That's how they ask. Kalidas Abhigan Saguntalam. This is Amog Varsha. This is separate. Anyway, the name of the theories itself. So kind of Bhavabhuti Uttam Charita, that is was correct. Bhasa Urumanga is also correct. Raj Shekhara, Raj Tarangani. So Raj Tarangani is by who? The last one we said Kalhala, right? So that is important. Raj Shekhara is important for another work, Kavya something, right? And of course, Raj Shekhara Kuntak is for Vakrati. So that you have to know. Anyway, all the explanation are there that you can find and read, where you can either get the notes, you can buy, or just go and solve the PYQ in the course itself. Anyway, which three of the following play were written by Bhasa? Bhasa we know, Urubhanga definitely. So this can be kind of, and Charudatta also, remember. So we have Charudatta, Urubhanga, right? And we have Karnabharam is also. there. So if you know A and C, A and C is here, easy to answer the question, right? Great. Now I'll give you the question and you have to answer. We have discussed in the beginning, right, about the Natya Shastra. How many major forms of drama, how many described by Bharata? Remember the chapter 18, right? So was there? Was it 3, 4, or 10? Write in the chat box if you are there. I'll just wait, right, and see how many of you can answer this. Right, just write in the chat box quickly. Anyone, whoever is there, write the answer. What is that? 7, 3, 4, or 10? Come on, guys, come on, do it quickly, and then we'll move forward. Anyone of you are there? If you are there, come on, write fast. Anyway, let's see. Whoever is there, they can think and answer. But what we have discussed is how many? 10, right? Great. And in which chapter? 18. And can you tell what is there in the 6th chapter? Right in the chat box. So again, the types of drama, 10 types, all are there written. And Abhinaya has 4 meanings. Chika, Acha, explanation that you can find it there. Arrange the following order, right? Bharata, then we have Bhasa is not there, so, and Kalidas is also not there. Bharabhas, so we don't have, we have Bharat only, right? Bhas is not there, Ka is not there, and we have Bhama, right? Bharabhas Ka, Bharat, Bharthari is also not here, and Bharbham. So we have this Bham, right? So we have Bha, Bham. So you can easily answer, right? See, from the code, you can easily answer a lot of questions. And say if you are agree, say yes or agree in the chat box quickly. So through the code, your question kind of done and dusted. Anyway, you know, Kuntaka end. Anyway, yes. So Bharabhas ka Bharabham. Remember the code. Then what we have in the beginning, Amog, right? Amog, Anand, and Bhava. Remember that. So here also, not here any one of it. Is it there? No. Anandavardhan we have. Bhava, Ananda. Remember. So we have now A, C, and Anand. Which number? E. So we have this. And Shamendra, Kuntaka. Kuntaka between Raj, Shekhar. What we have? Remember the code. And at the end we have Shamendra in the between. So easy to answer if you know ACE only here. So easy to answer. Right. Another question, which of the following concepts are associated with Bharthari theory of Sphota? We discussed, we can just hear in Dhvani and also in Sabda Brahmana. Again, it is about Vakya, word or Pada, that is fort, that can easily applied in Dhvani and Sabda Brahman. Right. So guys, we are done. We have completely kind of finished our Indian, right, classical criticism is done. I hope you liked the session. If you liked it, do what? Do that thumbs up session, right? Thumbs up. I'm trying to make it. But anyway, subscribe to the channel. Very important that you should actually subscribe if you want more content. We are focusing on the notes. So, and some of the videos are free. Right now we are just going free right now, but again, if you want to access later all these things in order, and of course PYQ based, especially author and period wise, we have uh, PYQs that you can kind of, and also all these important notes are gold mine here that you should download. How? Enroll the course. And remember, once you enroll the course, you don't have to enroll one more time. So kind of one, and just enroll one and access lifetime. And it's a lifetime offer as well. And we have also paper one we are starting from Monday. Not Monday, actually from Sunday. I was thinking Sunday, but anyway, we'll see. We have completed all the notes from all units. We only are arranging the questions in order, and when it is done, we'll start kind of talking about paper. And I'll tell you, paper one will be so kind of easy that you will never forget. Whatever the content that will give, especially the to the point notes and also all the PYQs, and that will definitely help you. Anyway, thank you so much and have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow in our next session on transition age in the afternoon. Remember, in the afternoon, around what time? 12:30 or 12 p.m. This is our time. We always go live in this time. If you're there, you should attend. Otherwise, you can just click the link and watch it later as well. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Not good day. Have a good night and take care. Bye bye.